HVK all day. Let's go, guys. Back with another video. Welcome to High Vibrational Kings. This is a channel for people that want to better themselves in life. Shout out to anybody holding on to their energy, breaking bad addictions, and trying to become a better version of themselves. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into today's video. Alright, guys. So in this one, I want to talk about soul ties, right? Let me try to explain like what are soul ties, how to break soul ties. So let's get into it, man. So basically a soul tie is when you have a energetic like connection with somebody. Usually the most strongest way to create like a soul tie with somebody is, being physical with them, S3X. That's like the quickest way to create a soul tie because you're literally merging your energy with them, right? When you engage in that. Sex basically is sexual energy exchange. So the more you do that with somebody, the stronger the soul tie will become, And it's very important to that's why it's very important, guys, to not just lay down with anybody. If you're going to lay down with somebody, make sure that they have good energy. Make sure that you like them as a person. Don't just be focusing on their physical appearance because they could look good, but at the same time they could have like all this dark energy within them, and now they're like kind of, you're creating like a toxic soul tie with somebody. So that's, sexually, that's one way of creating it, but I feel like you could also create soul ties even without being physical like that. Soul ties are basically when you spend like, it could also be created like when you spend a lot of time with somebody. You create like a lot of emotional connection. You've gone through like crazy times together, whether it's good or bad. You're always around them. So you're giving some of your energy to them. They're giving some of your energy to you. So energetically speaking, you guys kind of start like, it's kind of like strings, you're just throwing these strings to each other and then they're throwing it back. And then it just creates like a soul tie where it's like a bond. But there can be healthy soul ties and unhealthy soul ties. So that's why it's very important, like who you hang out with, who you create like experiences with, because, if it's like an unhealthy soul tie and you keep going back to each other, you're just like draining your own energy because it's kind of like they have like a part of your energy and you have a part of them, and even though you guys like hate each other or something, you guys always, like you guys always kind of like get pulled back together because of the emotional connection, the stronghold that you guys have created. So that's why, it just depends, because there's been, like how there's couples that are like toxic and then they always go back to each other. That the reason for that, guys, it's not physical. You're not seeing it through a physical lens. Like they'll probably be like, that they're not good for each other, but for some reason they keep going back to each other, and it's the memories, it's the energy behind that person. So it's kind of like you're entangled within them, like energetically speaking. So there's ways in like breaking like soul ties and stuff. So that's how like soul ties are created, whether it's sexually or just through like friendships and things like that. But the ways of breaking them, is basically one of the main things that you could do is just give it time. Go a long period of time without talking to this person, or basically like, well, time is one of the things, right? So give it time. The second thing is, cut off all contact, block them, don't reach out. Because, guys, like every time you keep going back to a person, you're kind of like adding on to the soul tie. You're creating it. You're not letting it break. It's kind of like think of it as like a fabric. It's like a fabric or something like this, and it's strong. and say that it's like in the sun, and like over time it just like the thread, it starts becoming weaker and weaker until eventually, it just snaps, right? So the same thing with like energetically speaking with people is if you have like a soul tie with somebody that's like, that you need to get rid of, the best thing that you could do is just give it time, block them, don't go back. Basically, is that's just what it is. Like you never go back to that. That's the way that you break it, because it's just cut off all contact. The second thing is delete. I mean, this isn't always necessary, because I know, like, there's certain like memories that you may have had, and even if you don't like hate a person, like you still would like to keep the memories. Um, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess you could like keep certain like pictures, or it just depends, honestly, guys. It just depends on your preference. But that's like the strongest way to like get rid of a soul tie. Just deleting like pictures, deleting videos, and basically trying to get memories out of your head, right? Um, but that isn't always necessary, because even though like it just depends on you really if you want to do that or not. Um, but yeah, like the third thing is, just kind of like, this one isn't as necessary too, but it's like getting rid of things that remind you of that person. Say like they gave you like a present, or whatever, man. Like it has, what that person gave you, it has like energy behind it. So like if you see something that somebody gave you, it will just kind of like bring up memories. But I feel like the most important thing is just basically not going back to them and not reaching out, right? Because over time, it will just like that materialistic object won't even have as powerful of a energy as it once used to have. Say that like somebody gives you like a keychain or something like that. Um, over time, it will just kind of like, it won't have as much meaningful value, or maybe it will, but what I'm trying to say, guys, is like basically like time is the only thing that you could do. Is just give it time and just never go back to that, guys. Just block them and just keep moving forward with your life. And then slowly over time, you just, kind of not completely forget about them, because, it's a memory, but energetically, you will be more free. Okay. And another thing that I could recommend is, meditation and mindfulness. When you meditate, guys, and you're focusing on your breath, you become very present. You stop stressing about things of the past. You become more in tune with your own energy. And that's what it's all about, man. Not having your energy onto another person is basically pulling all that energy back within yourself. So, another way to break a soul tie is just focusing all that energy back within you. Just practice meditating, just practice like self love, positive affirmations. Put it in your mind that your energy, you're no longer giving it to them. You're no longer giving them a source of yourself. Okay? So meditating and mindfulness is another way of, you know, weakening and dissolving that soul tie with the person. Okay? So overall, guys, is just give it time, block them, no communication, delete pictures and videos if you have to, get rid of things that remind you of them, meditation and mindfulness. Um, because guys, like, this shit is real, bro. Like, soul ties, it's spiritual, man. You gotta stop seeing everything with the physical lens. It's a spiritual thing, guys. So, me in the past, I've had like soul ties with people that, you know, just like, getting like laying down with somebody like very quickly. And like, I probably known them for a month. And then for like, we stop talking, or things just go bad like all of a sudden. And I'm still thinking about them like months later, bro. Like I've known them for like a month, or I hung out with them a month. And then like months or even like a year later, I still feel like I'm thinking about them. It's because it's that soul tie, guys. Like you created, especially like if you lay down with somebody, you're giving them your energy, and they're giving a little bit of energy to you. So it just creates like an emotional bond, right? And the problem is that this is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, especially like in today's age where everything is just so like nothing lasts, right? Everything is so like very how do you say it, seasonal. So it's like dangerous, guys, to like be laying down with somebody that you like or whatever, and then you know things go bad, and then you just have to deal with like that emotional stronghold, like for like a long ass time, guys. Like I said, like you could know somebody for like a month, you create a strong ass soul tie with them, and then all of a sudden they just get out of your life, or just things go bad, and then now you're left with like emptiness. You feel like you're like always thinking about like this person, and things like that, guys. So it takes a long ass time to break a soul tie. uh so that's why it's very important to like move with caution out here, because I've had friends I've known that like have soul ties with like their partners, and they're like toxic, but they always go back to each other, and it's like a vicious cycle. They be together for like years. It's that strong soul tie, and like they keep going back to each other, and they just keep making it stronger and stronger, instead of departing and cutting contact physically, but also energetically, going within and getting that person out of your mind and out of your energy. Is all what it comes down to. Okay. But I'm gonna make a video on a different topic kind of related to this, so stay in tune for that. But yeah, man, I just want to talk about that real quick, soul ties and how to break them. So I hope this video helped with you guys. um like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.